Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Signal to Noise. It was written by Colin Richards. Our keeper of arcane lore is Dr. Lex Hurley, and this is episode 2. Our recap will be given by Tyler Hudak as his character, Winfield Carver. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Tyler?
FCC Incident Report. Author, Winfield Carver, Station Engineer for WSHP, Summit Heights, Colorado. Date, October 1989. This report is in reference to the signal hijacking that has been occurring against WSHP starting on August 30th. Since then, the station signal has been hijacked on 3 occasions during different times of the day and used to show disturbing videos to viewers. On October 10th, station owner Larry Rosenbaum assembled an investigative task force to determine who was doing this and to put a stop to it. The task force consisted of myself, Dirk Delarose, WSHP's lead anchor, Ellery Pond, local investigator, Officer Pitt Masterson, and Jasper Jones, WSHP's intern. Lead station engineer Frank Mars had been investigating the signal hijacking on his own, but had been missing for the previous few days. The group searched Mars's office and apartment for clues. In his office, we found a signal coverage map with electronic schematics, notes about a lightning strike near Relay Tower number 2, and references to a gray woman. After Dirk charmed the landlady to let us in, Mars's apartment was searched. The TV was on, and uneaten food and toppled furniture indicated he had been interrupted during a meal and left suddenly. Surprisingly, his wallet, keys, and other valuable items were left behind. The doors and windows were locked, suggesting he used a spare key when he left. Inside the apartment was a partially built signal blocking device, its purpose likely to block the source of the hijacker's signals. These schematics had been obtained from Cal McCloskey, the local owner of Cal's TV and VCR repair. Cal's store led to 2 interesting revelations. First, after Cal finished the device, we viewed the previous 2 broadcast videos, and Cal went crazy talking about aliens and the gray woman and how they were behind the hijackings. Second, when we took a photo of us on Dirk's Polaroid, our faces were distorted. Our working theory is that this is caused by some type of radiation. After we noted that a number of local disappearances and hijack signal complaints were clustered in the area near Relay number 2, we headed up there to investigate. It should be noted that Officer Masterson has not been forthcoming concerning the disappearances, and at least one missing poster has mentioned the gray woman. The relay grounds, internal tower circuitry, and the tower itself were intertwined with webbed fibrous wires or vines. It was unclear which they actually were, but they appeared to be related to the hijack signal. After coming into contact with them and blocking the tower signal, several strange and disturbing events took place, including some members of our group behaving irrationally, myself included. When we touched some of the vines, a light appeared in the nearby forest, revealing a dilapidated house. However, I believe we were being pursued by the gray woman as we made our way through the woods. Upon entering the house, we were met with a horrifying sight. A woman, or something resembling one, with the red vines embedded in her body and a TV in place of her head. The gray woman is ascending the stairs towards us. We must find an escape.
You all are in the top room of a dilapidated farmhouse. Climbing up the creaking stairs, this building is falling apart, following the sounds of some woman screaming for help at the top. Jimmy managed to notice that the gray woman was standing in the doorway below you as you crossed up the stairs and into this room, opening the handle of the door, seeing this horrible, misshapen figure fused into the walls with wires, circuitry, veins. It's difficult to tell any difference between them. As you went inside, the walls were too high. What should have just been a small attic space is somehow stretching up 15, 30 feet straight up. The hole in the roof now shows a bright, clear sky with blinking stars, absent the storm that you can still hear faintly outside. There is a door on the opposite side of the wall. Ellery made a note that this one had a horizontal handle, not round like the others, horizontal like what was in that video. As you enter, You tried to investigate the poor, deteriorated state of the woman fused to the wall as the Gray Lady entered in behind you. Per my last notes, Jimmy immediately bolted, ran into the far door and into what appeared to be some vague hallway dimly lit through the exterior. Winfield was attempting to use the signal blocking device on the woman to try and disrupt whatever may be happening to her there. If I remember correctly, Dirk, Ellery, you had doubled back behind the gray woman to try and escape back down the stairs and ended up in an almost identical hallway on the opposite side of the room. Officer Masterson was shooting his pistol at this gray woman and ducking beneath one of her swings. We are going to pick up with Dirk Delarose mid-combat. What do you do?
Oh. So, I think I want to book it. I think I want to run away.
Okay.
Towards the hallway.
Are you running towards Johnny or Ellery?
I think I'm running towards Johnny.
Okay. So you can run, we'll call it the north side of the room, running into it. This old mildewy smell of the farmhouse around you seems to fade into this just obscure, slightly clean, very almost odorless texture of these beige hallways. The top of the round, Ellery, you are in the hallway at the opposite side, or call it the south side of the room. You can see these hallways stretching out forward ahead of you. They seem to be lit at even intervals throughout, as if by fluorescent lighting, but there is no disruption or breakage in the ceiling. All of it seems to look like that pockmarked styrofoam-ish covering, completely level throughout. You can hear the sounds of gunshots coming from behind you.
From behind me. No turns, no doors, just the hall going off.
You don't see any turns immediately close. You can attempt to run and try and find some if you want.
I'm really super confused. I think at first I will run maybe 100 feet farther away. And if it just looks the same more and more, I might start to freak out and maybe crawl back the way I came, back to the door. Maybe maybe she'll have left.
Okay. As you sprint further down the hallways, this odd light seeming to come from nowhere, your footsteps are muffled in what looks like that typically crinkled brownish carpet that seems to absorb stains very well. It's very soft under your feet. Your footsteps barely make a sound as you're looking. In these odd intervals of spaces, you think like you might see a break in a hallway ahead of you. Since the walls, the ceiling, the floor are all the same colors, it's difficult to tell where there's a difference, but you think that there's maybe a sharp line, one of few ahead of you. It's now going to be the Gray Lady's turn. Officer Masterson has fired his pistol at her, and she is going straight towards you. She is going to reach out with one of her static hewn hands and attempt to pierce right up and into your chest. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to dodge because I don't think fighting back is going to work.
Okay.
So I'll dodge. All right, and I got just a regular 40.
Okay. As she tries to go up, you manage to go straight to the right. She hisses, and I drop my dice. She hisses, comes out as this loud, staticking crack almost that seems to go above that ringing in your ears, and she is going to swipe at you again. You can attempt to roll dodge with a penalty dice if you wish.
Shit. Okay, I'll dodge with a penalty dice. No, I already failed. 93.
Do you have... Oh, I actually don't think you can have enough luck for that.
I mean, I do have enough luck to regular.
She rolled a hard success.
Yeah, no, I don't have enough luck for that.
Okay. Unlucky. Oh. How much HP do you have?
Is it already? Don't tell me it's already over. Come on. I have 14 HP. That's a lot. I have
Okay.
a ton of HP.
I just rolled an 8 and a 4 on those dice, so that is 12 damage that is coming in.
Oh dear.
As these claws swipe up, it catches you underneath the rib cage almost. And even though you can see her fingers are passing in you, through you, they burn. They burn. It's as this static touches you, it feels like that pins and needles whenever your arm falls asleep and you try and wake it up aggressively. Times 1,000, almost this solar radiation level of burning, feeling your skin sizzle away out from under you. You are going to take 12 damage, which is going to be a major wound, if there ever was going to be one. We'll check. Do you need to make a con roll to avoid unconsciousness?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But my con is 80, so no possible chance of me failing this, right?
0 chance.
Oh, no, I got a 95. I'm going to spend 15 luck to pass. I
Okay.
have to.
These lights are dimming and fading, and you manage just by sheer force of will to keep your eyes open. Jimmy.
I'm running and crying.
Okay. You run and cry further running down this hallway. I'm assuming that you, especially with your recent disability, let's call it, of having static permanently in your eyesight and being full of frightened tears, you may not be able to get the best view of the hallway going ahead of you, but you're at least confident that the sounds of screams are getting quieter behind you.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see.
Nice.
And Masterson, it's now your turn.
All right. Seeing that all have abandoned me, I am going to leave. I'm going to run after Jimmy through the weird door.
Okay. Climbing back up on your feet, you hobble and just try to scramble across the room, past Winfield and this woman fused to the wall, running into the north hallway.
Yep.
Winfield.
Does the signal blocker seem to have any effect on anything whatsoever?
Thank you for reminding me. As you are focusing the signal blocker in on this woman that is still screaming with the TV, the image on the screen tends to bounce between this and close-up of a mouth and teeth shown too close, and then an eye panicked looking around. As you focus it in, that signal seems to fade towards an emptier static, away from her connection to it or its connection to her. It's difficult to tell. The screams tend to fade into a bland static.
Okay. And as Pitt goes running, since I'm kind of facing it, would I see him kind of go into the hallway? Because I think the hallway was behind.
Yeah, you would
the woman.
he would run sort of past your line of sight going into it.
Okay. And if I can, I assume I can glance around and see I'm the only person left in the room, or soon to be. All right, then I'm just going to take
there's
off.
There's also a very nice gray lady in here that would love to give you a hug.
I'm sure, but I think I'm going to follow Pitt as he runs into the hallway.
Okay. As you run north into the hallway, you can chance a glance over your shoulder and see this figure floating across the hallway over to the door. As she approaches, you see these static hands, the fingers too long, and leaning in closer, and then shuts the door behind you.
Right.
So you four are now in the northbound hallway. Quieting down a bit, the air is neutral. The only smells that you can smell are those of yourself. The floor is almost springy to the touch. And again, it's this unbroken tan and beige for the length of this hallway, with what looks like fluorescent lights at even intervals, though no lights can be seen in the ceiling.
The door that was closed, is it still there?
It is at the end of the hallway, yes.
I the blocker. It was working. I was getting in the signal. I think I just needed a minute or two, and that may have gotten rid of. What was that thing?
Oh, I think it got me. I'm not doing so good.
Is Dirk and Jimmy still here with us, right?
I think at this point you can easily have called to Jimmy, and hearing no more gunshots, like you can sort of slowly come back together towards each other.
I'm not sure I would. I think I would just try to keep going until I hit a wall or something. I don't know. But yeah, Dirk was probably back closer.
Yeah.
Then you are going to keep going. You see sort of the horizon of the room never seems to get lower. Nothing seems to have changed. You're now, just as you're running, seeing these of these lights passing you. Maybe there would be branching hallways. It's really difficult to see, especially just as you're booking it.
Yeah. Well, okay. At a certain point, maybe a few 100 feet. Yeah, I'll trip and
Running
just
out
kind
of
of cry
breath.
on the floor. Yeah, exactly.
As you like sort of stoop down, hands and knees, and pant on the floor, you can sink down and sit, leaning back against the wall. The wall is almost spongy, soft, not like sheetrock.
Mhm. I need a minute to freak out. You guys can talk.
Okay. So Ellery, you can continue going down your hallway. As you look back, you do not see a door behind you. You turn the corner of this new hallway and feel like you might be able to see doors up ahead.
Okay. I will move forward then.
Okay.
Nothing changes though. Lighting, everything is the same.
Everything is perfectly balanced in here. There is no disruptions except for maybe the only disruptions that you have seen are what look like brown squares that are embedded flush with the wall that appear to be doors of some sort.
No handle. No handle on this side.
Maybe. You can approach, and it's really weird almost. Like as you are looking down the hallway, the wall seems completely flush. And as you get closer, as you start to better grasp, like, okay, this is a disruption here, you notice that there's a handle there, that it seems to be protruding, but you couldn't see it from further down in the distance.
Like an optical illusion, yeah. All right. The first one that I come to, I'll stop and I'll listen at the door if I hear anything.
You don't hear anything inside the room.
I will try the handle and see if it turns. Is it locked? Is it
You
this
grab
kind
the
of handle,
yeah.
or is it this kind of handle?
It's let's call it a handle, so it'll stick out and around a bit, so you can put your hand around it. It looks like it should be maybe like a brass-ish metal. It is not cold when you touch it.
Okay.
As you slowly turn it down and open the door, you see what might be a laboratory room. It's the walls are a bluish white. There is a tile flooring. There is a plastic table, and some sort of equipment and machines are against the wall. You can't make heads or tails of them. But all that really sort of pales in comparison relative to a body slumped against the opposite wall, some papers and a briefcase scattered about them in one hand, a pistol in the other, and their brains splayed out on the wall above and around them.
Being like splattered, or
Yes.
they've shot themselves in the head. Okay.
Yes.
And
we're going to go now to Dirk and Jimmy, or Winfield and Pitt. I'm just sort of waiting for y'all to come back together. Or you can keep running away from each other, I understand.
I'm going to have approached back to Winfield and Pitt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll rejoin after a little bit of conversation, but yeah, just very panicked.
Is there a visible wound on Pitt, or is it just?
Are you going to try and investigate or first aid it?
I mean, why not? I don't have any. If there's an actual wound to look at, then
Yes.
I mean, I can try.
I would imagine that Pitt is sort of splayed on, like leaning against the wall. There's blood that is seeping down his white shirt. As you all get close to try and treat or examine the wound, he undoes his shirt and pulls it open. And you can see a couple of things. There is a jagged burn mark of a rip across. If a grizzly bear would have had white hot claws, it might do something similar to it. You can see meat moving around inside underneath these open wounds on his torso. And something else. Something seems to be crawling out where the blood vessels are torn and his other things in connective tissue seem to be reaching out around the borders of this wound and feeling their way up his skin. The same red wires that you saw protruding around from the relay station and the woman fused to the wall. I'd like everyone there to roll SAN.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed.
Good.
So it's going to be a 1 on a pass. For the observers, it will be a D4. And then for Officer Masterson, that's going to be a D6 to see this coming out of you.
Oh, boy.
I lost 4.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, this is not good.
How smart are you?
Oh, I'm pretty smart. Oh, how smart? Actually, how smart am I? Oh, no, I'm stupid. Yeah. 54.
She must have planted those things in you.
54 out of 50.
Or maybe it's just shock and adrenaline at this point. It's just, oh, God, I have some of those things on me.
Oh,
Not
except
that
for I am indefinitely insane, so I think that would make me do it anyway, either way.
Well, I think that this reaction is still going to be fine. You're going to panic and try and claw these back out of you because these are coming out of the wound in your chest. Or
Yeah,
in
that
your
was
torso.
that was what I was going to do anyway, so
Hell yeah.
I'm going to do that. She
Is
was
everyone-
inside of me. Get them out. They're infesting my body.
So as he does this, does it look like he's hurting himself more?
It looks like he's in imminent danger of hurting
Right.
himself. He's grabbing the skin around these wounds, and you can see the flesh sort of pulling as he does.
Yeah, I'm going to get the pocket knife out and try to
I'm
slice in.
as soon as I see that and him reaching for that, I'm gonna try to grab his arms and yell, help me hold him down.
I'm not going to hit him like the fucking
Yeah,
TV,
okay.
man. And I'm gonna try to resist him. I'm gonna try to cut it out
I'll assist.
with 2 health.
All right. Love to see it. So this sounds like a strength or a grapple or like a brawl. You can pick whichever contest.
Do I have a penalty? Because I am. It's 2-on-1.
I would give them a
what we got.
bonus dice.
Well,
Because it's yours kind of, because I imagine you're trying to get at it on you. So you may you're playing on the home field there, but that would mean they can team up on you a bit easier.
okay. Well, I got a 0-2.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you want a penalty dice, I can flip that the other
Oh
way.
no! Wait, no. Yeah, I did get an 0-2. Yeah.
That's a damn good roll to kill yourself. Good job.
I got a
I'm not going to kill
14.
myself. Come on.
Am I allowed to spend luck to lower this?
Of course.
All right,
Spend
Be the
all
hero.
you need.
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna spend
Winfield.
13 luck to lower it to a 1.
Yes, Winfield.
You initially tried to fumble and grab at his arm, and then it slips away, and you can see that knife is going to wrench in just below his chest. And yeah, you manage to just get it right out of the way.
Ooh, that was
Put his
close.
hand in that little chicken position, despite your
Jesus.
best efforts.
Masterson, come on, pull it together. Come on. This is gonna just.
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna turn into a TV.
You're not gonna turn into a DV. Jacob, you
Yeah.
take the,
Well, so,
the blocker.
I'm kind of like hyperventilating. So when I look back at them, does it the full distance that I've ran? Are they very far away, or does it look like they're right
sorry.
behind me?
They don't look that far away from you.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe 50, 100 feet or so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I can tell that they're freaking out, but not close enough to really know what's going on. But I'll start walking back that way.
Derek, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna, as Winfield's holding Pitt down, I'm helping with the other arm. I'm just gonna start trying to tear a bit of my shirt off, like, and maybe a good bit of my shirt, like the bottom part of my shirt, to attempt to wrap it around the wound, like wrap it around his waist to hold some bleeding and keep his guts from popping out.
That
Like
sounds
maybe
like a
attempt
first
to
aid roll to me.
see what I can do. It's ineffectual.
You can still wrap it around, mostly just trying to limit the spread of these things that seem to be just spidering back out of the wound, slowly feeling their way around it.
Oh my God. What the hell is this?
Guys, what's happening? Is she still after us? Are you okay?
She shut the door, man. And now
That's
we got
good.
this.
She can't come after us now, right?
I think she wanted us in here.
What?
Well, that
Jimmy.
means we need to get out then.
She's trying to infect us, and I'll
What?
show him. I'll show him my wires.
Oh, great.
And
It's already
yeah,
it's already over for me, Jimmy.
So I failed.
okay, so that's a D4 for you.
She needs our
All right.
bodies to be the receivers.
I am now indefinitely insane.
Hell yeah. I am going to just give you the new, you can either call it a phobia of claustrophobia. Basically, it's going to be an obsession. You have to get out of here. You are trapped somewhere. You have to get out.
All
And
right.
with that,
Oh,
we're going to flash back to Mr. Pond. This body is sitting in a pool of dried, rusty brown blood, ruining the white lab coat.
So this is an actual door into the lab.
Apparently,
If I step through it and look back, am I still seeing the hallway?
you still see the hallway outside.
Is there another door in the lab leading out?
There is not.
Okay. I'm going to start looking around at the equipment and see if I can understand what I'm seeing. Maybe check the lab coat and see if there's identification, or is the corpse desiccated?
Not very. It's enough that the blood seems dried, but not long enough that the body itself would have withered or rot to have set in. Seems like maybe up to a day old.
And it does look like a self-inflicted gunshot.
It does.
I will pick up the gun,
Okay.
check and see if there's bullets.
Give me a luck roll.
44, and my luck is 60. So I'm cool.
Too bad this isn't Delta Green. So you pick up this gun, And it's a little different. You haven't been around firearms that much, enough to sort of be moderately familiar with them, as any American with a television can be. This one has a manufacturer's stamp on the side that reads Delmont Armory, 8.75 millimeter. The barrel of this revolver is kind of large and protruding out from the sides a bit from this kind of bullpup design. Not bullpup, snub nose, sorry, wrong term. And as you open it up to check, you can see 7 rounds inside. Checking through, there appear to be 3 rounds left.
Okay, and it's a revolver.
And it's a revolver.
I don't know guns at all, really, so I don't know they still made revolvers like this. I'll make sure that I do know that you turn the thing to make sure the bullet's in the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, technically you want it to be adjacent to it, so when you pull back the hammer, it moves to the next one in the thing. So you can technically leave them as they are.
See, I didn't know that.
Roll intelligence to see if you don't do that.
I guess I do know that.
Okay. As you are leaning down to pick it up, you see that the lab coat reads Aether Institute, and the bloodied name tag reads Tanaka. Do you want to look at the papers that are around or the briefcase near the body,
Yes.
or did you want to look at the equipment in the room?
Yeah, I want to look at it all. So I'm the sleuth.
So you can see many of the papers have been drenched in blood all around him. There seems to have been like an old yellowed notepad that has been splayed out. The topmost sheet is one of the few that isn't completely drenched in blood. And you can see the following text written on it.
Aether Research Log Day ? Can't escape, can't find way back. Library only way out. Must be a code. Screens and tapes. Right tape. Gray woman. In stocks. No sense. There's the symbol that we saw in the video. Appaloosa.
Applause.
Applause. Good worthy. No sense. Found twice. Another symbol. Tapes both had clouds. Seen 3 times. That symbol must mean something. On tapes with grass. That symbol. Another symbol. Building. Humans. Symbols. Forest. Maybe a human place. Link, connect. No way home. I won't be part of this place. Forgive me. Bit of a suicide note. Bit of an attempt to decipher the symbols that we saw. We did see the words living receivers. Where am I? Help me. Please help. I'm thinking to myself, perhaps based on the stuff that I've seen so far, it looked like something crashed through the ceiling. A meteorite? That something was coming to try to invade aliens, and somehow the woman who lived here was fused, and maybe she is trying to warn us by sending signals through the tower. And the gray woman is trying to stop her, whatever the gray woman is. What's the equipment look like? So it's all sorts of...
They seem to be very blank square panels with what look like the old classic computers where they would have the tapes that would sort of reel and display between them, various buttons and dials around on them, and a few of the old screens at the top of it. There appears to be a maybe a VCR-like insert inside.
Like 1970s equipment. I checked to see if the VCR has a tape in it, or if there's a tape sitting around.
Sure. You go up to the VCR and see that there is, as you hit the eject button, it's a solid arrow. It doesn't look quite like the little line and then a triangle arrow, one of those weird things. You press it, and there is a blank, unmarked VHS tape inside. You can put it back in, rewind, and hit play as the screen flickers to life.
The discoveries made during the tragic 1967 moon landing disaster fundamentally altered the way we think about our world. All disciplines of science, from mathematics to physics to biology, were profoundly transformed that day in July. 12 years of laboratory testing and research yielded fantastic results. A new reality, hidden between the wavelengths of various radio waves and other naturally occurring phenomenon, was finally breached. By using a signal modulation interruption device, display screens could be transformed into gateways into and out of this world, and potentially to other worlds beyond. Additionally, it is theorized that entities within this dimension could be solidified and brought into a physical state which could be interacted with by researchers. Unfortunately, this new reality was completely alien to the human psyche, and later testing devolved into insanity.
I'm going to pull the VCR tape out, put it in my thing. Dear God, are we inside of a computer signal, a transmission signal? Is that why it goes on forever with rhythmical lights, like some sort of wave?
This is sounding like a sand roll.
Yeah. 30. I'm okay.
Okay, so that's just one for that impending trapped in a place that should not exist realization.
I think my personal psyche is one that, although I seem to be in a weird, dangerous place, I'm really interested in knowing what it's all about. So I'm shielded maybe a little bit from the psychological terror. But
extremely good at compartmentalizing.
Yeah, I think at this point I've got the gun. I'm going to peek back into the hallway and see if I can, find another door. I'm wondering if the Institute was set up in here, inside this crossover place. Did we pass through a television set? Is that how they're moving in and out of reality? I'm going to see if I can make my way back the way I came. Because I don't know if these hallways attach to the other hallways that may be attached to where the others are. I might need to go. I might not be able to find my way back.
So as you exit back out through the door to this room and look back into the hallways, they're in the same arrangement as you remember. You sort of passed an L junction to get into this room, although the wall seems, the end of the junction seems further away than the edge of this room would suggest, but that doesn't really matter. What does matter is what looks like a hand laying across the floor at the edge of the bend in the hallway. We're going to tap back.
Okay, let me ask a quick question, though. You say
Yes.
bend in the hallway. Are these hallways all perfectly straight, or do they
Perfectly.
curve?
You can see occasional L's. So you would have gone, maybe an L wouldn't be the exact right term. It would be sort of like a T, a one-sided T junction.
Right.
The Tetris
But
piece.
I don't see it slowly curving off.
No. Everything are straight lines. And yes, you see what looks like maybe a woman's hand is laying on the ground, maybe from the forearm out at the end of the hallway you just came down. And then we're going to tap back to the first aid party.
So something Pitt just said. Is it okay if I make an idea roll to see if Winfield catches on? I think he's a little bit overwhelmed, so may not be thinking straight.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah. So the last thing that Pitt said was that he's turning into a receptor. To Winfield, that he has almost like a realization that if Pitt is turning into a receptor, then that means we should be able to block the signal. And in his mind, using that signal blocker should stop whatever's happening to him. And so I'm going to look at Dirk and say, do you have him? Can you hold him down?
I'll try.
I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
I'll let go and then grab the signal blocker and start messing with it again to see if it has any effect to those things in him.
Okay. Roll electronics.
Yes, it is a hard.
Okay. So you stand back at the other side of this hallway and point this device at him, sort of tweaking the dial. You can see the lights are flickering on it, and it's making those sort of rabbit ear connection signals that I'm not going to try and do Foley for again. And what are you three doing while this is happening?
We gotta get out of here. We should have never come here. Some creepy place in the woods. These are already bad enough. Guys, I ran down this hallway, then I turned around and you were right there. We can't go anywhere.
Jimmy, I watched you. You were running so slow, man. It's fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Just calm down. Okay? We're going to get back. I'm going to get back on the news. We're going to tell everybody about this shit. It's going to all be fine. Okay?
Oh, Mr. Delarose, you need to tell him, don't come to this place. Tell everyone where it is. Tell them not to come here.
Of course, we'll tell everybody not to come here. It's horrifying.
Don't worry. If we can't get out, I have enough bullets for all of us.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
Your bullets will get us out of here?
Oh, yeah.
You're nuts, man. You're nuts.
So, Winfield, you feel like you have listening more than sort of looking. You can feel the signal sort of hone in and resonate with something. And you can point and focus it at Officer Masterson.
Yeah.
You can't see any difference or change in it happening, but you do feel like there is some sort of resonance coming from him that you're tapping into.
Okay.
Does that make sense? You don't necessarily see like a physical impact.
Right. Master, do you feel any different? I think I'm hitting it right.
Do I feel any different?
You don't. You feel like shit, man. You have like 2 hit points left.
Does it affect my vision at all if I'm kind of in the path of the blocker? It's not something I would intentionally try to do.
Sure. I think that's fun. So as you're walking past, your vision clears for just a bit as you're pacing back and forth as the signal blocker is pointed at Officer Masterson.
Mr. Carver, what are you doing? Does everyone see that? This place is getting blurry and clearing up.
I think I'm blocking the signal or whatever is, using us, him, everyone as a receptor. I think I'm blocking it. It feels right.
The one in my head? I've been seeing static ever since that lady grabbed me.
Well, I can only point this at one thing. He's going to continue to point it at Masterson. And I think hesitantly, make his way over to him and say, "All right, I want to look at the wound and start to pull back the whatever we put over it, just to see what, if anything, has changed."
As you pull Dirk's very expensive Dillard shirt off of this wound that has been sort of bandaging it, you can see that these fine red veins, wires, are sort of crawling out around, feeling around the flesh part, but more of them have actually gone down around his ribs and sides and are taking root, for lack of a better term, in the floor.
It's working. And I'll kind of look over at Dirk and give this isn't a good sign face. But I think it's working. And take a step back.
I'm gonna try to get up.
Okay. So as you try and roll off this side, you feel it stuck, like against the side of the floor. How do you want to try and get up? Do you just want to try and yoink and pull on these to rip them out? Do you want to try and take your pocket knife to cut them?
Yeah, I'll try to cut him out.
Okay. It's going to take you a while as you sort of gingerly, you tug and pull pressure on it, and you can feel it pulling inside under your skin as well. But you can cut these and then get up without taking any damage. The rest of you are just watching this as it stretches on for a few minutes. Ellery, what do you do in your side of the hallway?
Well, I found myself fascinated by that piece of paper that I grabbed from the desk. It seems to be unlocking some sort of an attempt maybe to understand an alien language. I'm trying to walk my way back the way I came. Oh, I'm sorry. You said there was a hand. I'm going to move towards the hand and see what it is with the gun in my hand.
So as you are holding this gun, the handle is still slightly tacky from the dried blood on it. And stepping closer, looking at this hand, it looks like maybe a woman's hand, white. There's no there's no finger, what am I trying to say? Nail polish. There's no polish on the fingernails or anything. And as you get closer and it's just lying limp at the end of the hallway, it pulls away as you get within maybe 10 feet of it.
Now it suddenly feels like a trap, a lure, a worm on a hook. I'm going to continue forward slowly, getting as close to this wall as I can, so that I can see around the corner.
So getting a better angle, you turn your head around and look, and you can see further down the first hallway that you ran, maybe 50 feet or so away, there's a branch to the right that you didn't notice before, with the hand sitting there limp,
waiting for me to come up to it. I'll do the same thing I did before, this time opposite, so that I can, see where it's going, see how close, trying to estimate how close I get before it pulls back.
Are you going to try and sneak up on it? Would you like to roll stealth?
Well, it's not much stealth in a hallway with no features, but yeah, 93. There's no stealth.
Okay. So, still trying to walk about as slowly as you can, getting a better vantage from the far side of the hallway. You can see that the arm stretches back out. You can maybe get the glimpse of an elbow and then joining back up onto it. as it gets yoinked down the right-facing hallway.
Is it trying to draw me in a direction? Are there any doors?
This hallway does have doors. They're not perfectly square. If you've seen Beetlejuice, whenever they're in the hallways where they're sort of crooked at these Tim Burton-esque angles, these doors, they look almost like a child drew them.
The German impressionism, yeah.
Something like that. It's not very pronounced. You wouldn't ever call it artistic. It just seems slightly off.
So I get up to that hallway that it got yanked down and look down the hallway. Everything still looked more or less identical, except for now the
definitely on the
skewy.
more side of more or less, except this one tends to have some skewed doors. And then the same hand is on the right side of the hallway that appears to have another T-junction. It's bounced back to you four.
We got to move. We got to. Should we try the door? Try to go back to the house.
No,
Sounds like a good idea.
Forward.
I'm telling you guys, I ran and ran. I didn't make it as far as I ran. Like, watch me. I'll go off again right now. You stay here. See how far away I go.
What's in your head as you're doing this?
Just escape. Mostly that the hallway's got to go somewhere. I'm afraid to go through the door we just came in because the monster's behind it.
Okay. So you start speed walking down this hallway, and the rest of you see him walking at that pace away, agreeing with the laws of physics and relativity.
And it just looks like that hall just keeps going on and on. We don't see any curves or doors or anything like that.
Precisely. But it seems like Jimmy's bailing on you.
Mm-hmm. I'm out of here.
Let's just try the other door.
I mean, if we go back this way, assuming we can get through this door, that thing could be waiting for us. Like I said, I think I was having some effect on that woman with the TV head thing with the blocker, but I need more time. And this is just a guess.
I don't know how to handle this gray lady. And after seeing what she did to Pitt, I don't think I'd fare much better than him. But I couldn't make it with a hole in my stomach.
Well, we could open up the door and try to get out the door we came in if we can get around her.
Did you try the signal jammer on her?
No, I was just focused on the TV head thing. I didn't try it on her. I didn't have a chance. Do we want to call him? Do we want to call him back or just let him go?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna yell back. Just, see, guys, it just goes forever.
Gerald, get your ass back over here.
Why? We gotta go. We gotta get out of here. Like, we saw this building from the outside. We went upstairs. This hallway doesn't make any sense. It has to end.
Then let's go the other way that we know where it goes.
There's a monster over there. I don't want it.
I'm gonna open the door and see what's out there.
Okay. Give me a luck roll.
All right. My luck's not very good right now.
Okay.
Oh, no, pass.
And Jimmy, as you are going back, or like as you turned around to go back down, you see a hallway is branching off to your right.
Oh. Wait, guys, there's a way to go up here.
And Pitt, as you open it's this sort of just old farm wooden door that has that horizontal metal handle with the antique fake pearl ending on it. as you turn this creaky hinge and open it, you see the same hallway stretching on the opposite side of it. You see doors in this one, slightly crooked.
On through.
So you can walk through there. What are you three doing?
Well, my eyesight isn't what it used to be. I probably can't even tell that he opened the door. Just gonna be like, come on, fellas, there's a way to go. And I'll turn down the branch.
Winfield, what do you think? Do we follow the intern or follow the nearly
Do you
dead
want Tweedledee or...
Well, Masterson has a gun, so I vote for him, and I'll yell down the hallway, "We're going the other way!" And Winfield turns and just starts following Masterson.
Yeah, and I'll follow along.
All right. So you all can go down this hallway following the bloodied police officer. As you can see that there are doors not quite evenly interspersed, but you can see them sort of peppering this hallway in front of you, identical to the one previous. The damnedest thing, though, is that as you walk through this doorway and then look back, there is no break in the hallway. It is a continuous, monotonous, yawning stretch behind you.
Any sign of Jimmy?
No sight nor sound of him.
Luck, Jimmy.
Where do we go?
Well, there's doors, so maybe we should try one of them.
You walk down the hallway. You can sort of put your ear next to some or try them out. One, you hear muffled sounds of a television inside of it. So you open the door into this room that has faded blue and yellow stripes along the wallpaper, a gray, shining concrete floor, and this old, burnished burgundy couch sitting in front of a small, antique, maybe a 50s style television with the clicking dials on the sides of it. The TV is displaying a grainy television program of some sort. It's the only source of light in the room. The sound that's coming from it is muffled and garbled slightly. It sounds like a sitcom of some sort, as you can hear this and hear the sounds of audience applause. As that happens, this dark background against the room flashes, or not flashes so much as glows with this deep reddish color in this symbol, and then fades back away. The show continues. What do you all do?
Didn't we see a couch in one of the videos? Is this it?
You did.
That's right.
I don't understand what's going on.
Should we take a seat?
As you walk around the back of the couch and get a better view of the TV in front of it, you can plop down on the couch if you want. It's comfortable, well worn, hosted a lot of seats in its time. The show garbled. You hear this sound echoing from the screen, as in the same sort of space above and behind the TV in the dark corner of the room. You see this symbol, then fade back out. The image on the screen is garbled, staticky kind of, but doesn't show what you'd expect from the kind of sitcom where you can hear multiple voices in different pitches. You see, it's a single old man in an easy chair. Seems to have something in his hand. He's at the screen. The show goes on. You hear as this symbol lights up across the back of the room. As this is happening, you see the man on the screen is sort of slapping his knee and sort of pointing along at it.
So the symbols are popping up in the background of the TV, or
they seem to be illuminating along the wall behind it. It's very dark back behind. The TV is the only source of light in the room. You can walk around behind it if you want.
Yeah, I think I'd like to.
So as the show continues on, there's another round. You can feel this warm, reddish light emitting from the wall behind the television. If you want, you can reach out and put your hand against the wall. It is soft. You don't feel any breakages for the lights. And then that deep red glow fades back away.
It's soft. So is it like, if I push against it, does it leave an imprint, or is it?
You can push against it and feel your hand start to sink into the wall. And then whenever the symbol goes away, the wall seems to push back and gets hard again. You can wait until the next round of noise from this sitcom, maybe, and start pushing your way further into this light on the wall. What are you three doing?
I'm just watching Dirk push into it and sort of being like, yeah, go through. If you can push all the way through, go.
Yeah, I think they're doing the same, just watching.
Okay. Are y'all sitting on the couch or just standing? Where are you in regards to the room?
Could be sitting on the couch.
Okay. And Jimmy, what about you?
I think I'm like a stray puppy in another hallway somewhere.
Oh, that's right. You know what?
Yeah.
That's a great segue if I've ever heard one. What about you? As you walk down through this hallway, calling out for the others behind you that are no longer there, you don't even see where that door was. And as you start walking, I'm imagining that you're not even really paying attention. You're just sort of walking quickly, taking any corners as you're trying to look for a way out. And
the first time I noticed, like, because I assumed that they would follow me when I shouted out. So when I turned back around, do I see the same bend I took, or is it just straight all the way? Like the first turn, did it disappear behind me?
You see the same bend that you took, but you don't see where the door was sort of interrupting this span of hallway.
Okay. Well, yeah, Jimmy's going to have a kind of a mind shift of feeling like he's completely isolated, like he's lost everyone. But I think this is time to pull out a cigarette and start smoking while I'm briskly walking just forward, trying to get out. I'll find an exit eventually. I have to.
Okay. So as you are lighting up, have you smoked or is those just trying it for the first time? Everyone says it'll actually make your voice deeper, put some hair on your chest, maybe help you grow a beard.
Yeah, probably like one a day, semi-frequent.
All right. So then as you're sort of focusing on this and then that sharp, hot inhale and that bitter, are we talking Marlboro or Virginia Slim?
Probably Virginia Slim.
Okay. You may have just stolen
Jimmy's not
from
cool
your
enough
mom.
for the Reds.
Yeah, you may have stolen them from your mom just to get a sample pack. And so as you're lighting these up, you can turn a corner and you'll see two things. One, You see Ellery standing further down in the hallway, the gun raised in hand. And then a woman's hand laying at this sort of cross junction between you two, laying limp, the edge of another hallway.
I'm gonna kind of ignore the hand, and I'm like, Jimmy's probably still tearing up a little bit, choking it back. Mr. Pond, and start running for him. Yeah,
As you start running closer, Ellery, you notice the hand down the hallway.
Yeah, just run straight up to him, and the whole time just like, I turned a corner and I don't know where the other guys went, and this place is scary. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, it's okay. I think we're starting to figure it out. I think. Where are the others? Which way did you come from?
There's been a lot of turns that way.
Okay, let's see if we can find them. I think that we are trapped inside the signal. I know that doesn't make any sense, but I think that what we're inside is like the network of radio waves. I found a room, a laboratory. Do you remember from you didn't see the video. When we saw the video, there was something in the video that said Aether Institute.
Oh, I remember. You told me about that. I was going to look it up on the bulletin board.
Yeah, and I found a laboratory that was part of the Aether Institute. I'll start telling him the whole story. Apparently, when they went to the moon, they found something inside the radio signals, like a whole new world. And they set up an institute to figure out how to go back and forth between it. Somebody's been screwing around in the lab, and suddenly we're stuck inside. Something must have gone horribly wrong, because the one other person I found, and Dr. Lex, did Tanaka sound familiar to me as a name?
Did not.
Oh, okay, because it did to me, and I don't know why, but there was a person who committed suicide in there. They were trapped in here too.
Oh, dear.
But they said, I'll show him the note. It's pretty gross. It says that the only way out is the library. So we're looking for the library at the same time.
Oh, gee. Well, Mr. Pond, I'm glad that you're starting to put things together. This is all beyond me. I'm just so scared. I'm going to follow you, and I hope that you figure it out. I'll do anything you need. I'll help you out.
All right. Well, you stick by us, and would you run off by yourself? It's okay. We'll figure out a way out of this.
I didn't think I was running off. I just told them there's another way. They wanted to go back through the door with the monster on the other side.
I don't think that's the way out. That didn't seem like a library to me. Did you? To you?
I haven't seen anything that looks like a library in here.
All right. Well, let's see if we can find it, but we got to be cautious. Did you see that arm?
I've got static in my eyes ever since that lady grabbed me up at the radio tower. I can't see very well.
I'm wondering if the lady in the radio tower is like us. She's stuck in here, but she's been somehow managing to send signals, trying to warn us. We saw, help me, we're lost, we're stuck in here.
I don't know, Mr. Pond. It seems like she's trying to hunt us down. She almost killed Officer Masterson. She ripped his chest out. He started growing those red wires that we were following in the woods.
Oh, dear God. I think she might be from this place. And she's somehow, maybe she's trapped too, but trapped in our place on the outside.
Yeah. Well, I'm real anxious in here. We got to find a way out. Can we keep moving? I'll just follow you.
All right. I think I want to see, though, where the hand went.
Yeah, so whatever you need. We'll
stick
figure it out.
All right. Do you know how to shoot a gun?
In practice, so you just pull the trigger part, right?
Yeah, you point it and you pull the trigger. Well, if I get into trouble, I got a gun here. So if I toss it to you, I think I got 3 bullets in here.
Oh, gee. All right.
So we're going to go down the hall where the hand is.
Okay.
I don't know what the hand is. Maybe the lady's trying to lead us the way out.
So you can double back, go down into the hallway. There is no hand at the end of this room.
Okay.
There are a few doors.
Let's check one of these doors. Real careful. You stand a little behind me, and I'll open up one of the doors carefully, not just flinging it open, just looking carefully.
As you grab this cross handle and open the door, you see black void in front of you.
Oh, that doesn't look good.
And we're going to go back to Dirk. As you're waiting for these symbols to glow, you start, I'm assuming that you're sort of waiting for your moment and then shoving your hand in there harder to try and punch through each time.
Yeah.
As it's making its way sort of into the wall, you start feeling this prickly sensation. It's that pins and needles, like you've lost circulation and are trying to wake your arm up real quickly. Except it's getting worse, faster and hotter. It's burning, almost. Those of you watching the screen, you see the figure of the man sitting in the chair. Sits up, alert. As Dirk keeps pushing his arm in further, he stands up from his chair, seems to be shouting or something. You only hear sound across on the TV as Dirk continues pushing in. The man walks out of view of the screen. Dirk, this is starting to hurt. Do you want to continue?
Keep pushing, Dirk. Keep pushing.
Yeah, I'm just going to push. I'm going to push.
He can see you.
Okay.
I don't know if I like that.
You're making a connection with him, man.
Okay. The audience laughter sound effect is not dying. It seems stuck in this loop that is just becoming this cacophony of noises that's building in the room. Dirk, as you are continuing to push in, you're getting almost up to your shoulder at this point. Your jacket provided some protection from it, but now you feel that harsh pins and needles are burning into your arm. You are going to take 2 damage as you are trying to push your way through into this. Do you want to continue?
That is a great question. If I continue, I'd have to go.
You're up to your shoulder, sort of bearing into this wall, crawling through this sigil, illuminating.
Do we see anything on the TV, like, to indicate that he is actually, like, going through the TV other than the guy getting up and moving?
You
like,
don't
do we
see
his arm or anything?
So you don't see, like, his arm coming out of the TV or that image changing. You do see that the man who was in his easy chair seems to have returned with a double-barrel shotgun.
Oh crap.
Just keep pushing through, Dirk.
No,
You keep pushing through.
Unless-
I'm gonna go around and push him into the wall.
Oh my god.
Just here, let me help you, Dirk.
no.
Here,
Oh,
let me help you. Let me help you out here.
I'm gonna
Derek.
keep going. I'm not gonna fight too hard. I'm gonna maybe kind of like lean back a little bit as he's doing that, and then not gonna be able to fight too hard.
Against his better judgment, Winfield is going to take a running start and just run into both Pitt and Dirk, pushing forward into it.
Oh, damn it.
So you're trying to push Dirk further into the wall?
I'm trying to push all of us, like running into them, grabbing them at full speed as much as I can in this room and push us through.
It kind of hurts.
Shut up.
As you are
points of damage to Pitt.
Yes, and as you all are running further into this room, as this audience laughter sound is just getting louder and constant, looping around in here, you're shoving Dirk. Your face is getting warped and pushed into this wall. You see this light behind your eyelids. It's causing your vision to start having stars in it. Your face is burning like you have a 3-day sunburn. Pitt, as you stand up from the couch, you hear a little bit of fabric tearing and may notice that there's like some cotton fluff clinging on the back of your shirt. As Winfield, you go and launch yourself into it. Pushing everyone in through, you hear this shotgun blast as the TV behind you seems to shatter and blood and viscera spills out. The wall suddenly becomes very much solid and launches you back out across the room. Dirk, the front of your blazer is burned away. Your skin is red and seeping blood ever so slightly. The side of your face looks like you fell asleep on the beach for a couple of days. And you are now in a pile of bone, blood, and gore leaking out the front of this television. The burgundy fabric of the couch slowly absorbing that reaches it. Ellery.
Oh, God.
Yes.
What are you doing? Oh, that's right. You are looking at a void in front of you.
Yeah. Jimmy, I don't think this is a good thing. I'm going to close the door.
But we could have, maybe that was the night. Maybe we could have jumped out. It wasn't the hallway.
Well, the piece of paper says that the library is what we want. That might have just been a void into nothing. End of the signal. Or edge of the signal.
Okay.
Let's try the next door.
As you go and open the door into the next area, you see more hallway with a familiar now hand sitting limp at the end of it.
Is
I
that a
think
person?
she might be leading us somewhere, but it might be a trap. I don't think so.
She? It's a girl?
Well, it looks like a woman.
Do you know who?
I mean, it's kind of feminine, don't you think? She doesn't have any nail polish on, but
I'd have to get closer.
she hasn't been doing much hard labor. Let's go together and see what we can find.
Okay. So
I hope we find the others.
I'm real sneaky, like I can tiptoe up to it.
okay. You want to tiptoe up to it?
Yeah.
Tip those toes.
Oh, I got an 09.
I got a hard success.
Okay. And Ellery, how did you do?
I got an 09. That's
okay.
Wow.
So you both Scooby-Doo walk up to this hand.
It's
Yes.
not an extreme though.
That's okay. It doesn't need to be an extreme. As you both Scooby-Doo walk over to this hand, you can take the same approach of sort of taking the wider way around to get a better view of the arc of it. And so, Ellery, you see that it connects from hand to wrist to forearm to elbow, back to elbow to forearm, back to elbow, linking and wriggling slightly down the length of this hallway for dozens of feet.
Like a handaconda.
Exactly. I would like you to roll SAN. Both of you to roll SAN for that.
Is 98 good?
It's good for me.
72.
Okay. So that's going to be a D4 plus 1 on a fail.
Okay. And I'm already insane, so I'm sure I'm screaming or something. I lost 4 more.
Or 2.
Okay. And as you let out either a scream or an involuntary "Ah," as you get close to it, this
Zoinks.
sort of slowly, almost snake-like wriggling launches back up towards Jimmy. And Jimmy, would you like to try and dodge?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to. 49. I'll spend 9 luck.
Okay.
For regular. That's good enough.
Ellery, roll me luck real quick.
Oh, 92. Is that good?
It's good for me.
Yeah.
Now, would you like to roll dodge as well?
Yes, I will try to roll dodge. You 76 dodge. What's my dodge? Oh, my dodge is 60. How do I have such a high dodge? I'll spend
dodgy dude.
16 points of luck.
So as this slowly moving handaconda launches up, grabbing towards Jimmy's face, he almost does a matrix dodge out of the way as the hand continues sailing, reaching closer towards Ellery's face. Didn't expect it to continue going quite so far, so you manage to duck at the very last minute as this thing starts bending and twisting, now sort of spiderweb filling up the hallway, preparing to launch back for another grasp. I believe it would be Jimmy's turn. Or no, it would be Ellery's turn. You're a very dodgy, dexterous type.
I am going to so it's sort of recoiling like a snake would do, getting ready to launch itself again.
Basically, it's sort of recoiling itself up like a cross between a spring and a spider web, but now filling the rest of the hallway that it is coming down.
Okay. I will pull out my gun, and I had my gun out. I will point my gun like at the palm of its hand. So there's probably a mass of it behind that, but I'm pointing it right at the palm and I'll fire.
Okay, so it is going to, let's see, it has a size of 25. I forget how size and build. Let's just say, go ahead and fire.
Okay.
It's springing enough. Okay.
I got an 18. This is fire. I don't have a lot. Got an 18 out of 30. I could spend 3 points to make it a hard.
Not necessary. There's no room for it to dive for cover, and it's not quite that fast. Go ahead and roll me a d10.
Every time. I'm holding it in my hands, and I'm like, where's my d10? I got a 9.
Wow. Okay.
And I probably close my eyes and recoil.
So as you let out this deafening crack in the hallway, you shoot and hit right in the palm of the hand that seems to split slightly as it's going down, leaking this greenish, yellowish ichor as it begins to and start trying to pull and whip its way back down the hallway it came from.
Let's get the fuck out of here, Jimmy.
I'm following you.
Gonna go the other way. Let's see if we can find our way back to the others.
And speaking of the others,
Winfield, you piece of shit! What the hell was that, man?
Yeah,
You were-
Winfield, what the fuck is wrong with you, you crazy bastard?
Me?
You almost killed us.
We were getting. I thought we were getting through. I thought if I pushed us through, we could get through, and then the TV exploded. I mean, I don't know. It looked like you were getting.
He closed
I didn't
the
close
gate
it.
from his. No. The guy. He closed the gate from his side, I think.
Well, maybe
the
there's
gun.
another room. Are we covered in the blood and viscera as well, or is it just on the room?
I'm imagining that whenever you all were sort of in the wall, this TV exploded at about the same time you were forced back. And so you may have fallen like sort of on your backs amid this sort of crunch of bone and various viscera. So maybe your backs are sort of drenched in this, effluvia.
Well, let's get out of here first. Let's go. Winfield's gonna get up and start heading back to the hallway.
Yeah.
This one's gone now. It's not going to do us any good.
I don't know. Maybe if we can find another one, we could get through. We were at least doing something.
Yeah, I don't think that was the one anyway. It didn't look that important.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
As you open the door to go back out into the hallway, there is no hallway. There's a stairwell. The walls almost seem unbroken on either side of the door as this stairwell seems to be moving up. This black carpet making these even steps and seems to stretch up and up and up for miles.
I suppose we go up the stairs, right? Only way to go.
Yeah.
I guess.
As you start walking up these stairs, it's squishy goings for a while. At least this carpet's black, so you're not treading blood all over the nice brown carpet of the hallways. Except as you start going up what feels like a flight, 2 flights of stairs, you start feeling winded, and the air inside starts to feel hot, sort of pressing down on you. There's no light bulbs that you can see in the ceilings, but everything is starting to seem closer. And I feel like maybe Dirk would be the most sensitive to it. You start noticing that your burned arm is hitting these walls more than they should. You keep like bumping into it, and it's causing the skin to bleed. And so you stay to the other side. And eventually, as you're sort of pressing with one shoulder against this wall and continuing up these stairs, you're feeling your sore, burned shoulder hitting the adjacent wall as they seem to be getting closer and tighter the further that you all go up. But that means that the top of these stairs has to be closer.
These walls are closing in on us. We keep, I guess, shit is wild. I don't know what's going on.
If we touch the sides of the walls, do they feel soft like the other ones, or they feel hard?
No, they feel soft and pliable.
Let's try to push through them.
Yeah.
You can push, and they're sort of squishy is too much of a word, but so you can press, but you can't sort of crawl through them like with the symbol in the other room. They're not actively crushing in on you like Star Wars, but the dimensions of this staircase are all wrong.
Let's just keep going, and we can turn around if it gets impassable.
Yeah, that's my vote.
Okay. As you continue going, the top part of this hallway, instead of being a rectangle, it must be taking on a more trapezoidal appearance because the top of it is getting tighter around your shoulders than the bottom part. The staircase is more or less staying the same width. So after a while, you start getting on your hands and knees and crawling, and this staircase starts feeling more and more like a vertical tunnel as these walls are starting to press closer and closer in on you all. You feel like the top is almost there, but it's going to take a lot of squeezing to get up there. Pitt, you're trying to ignore it as best you can, but as you're having to start crawling on your elbows and belly up this staircase, every time you stop to try and take a breath, you feel some resistance on that fabric of the staircase the first time that you try and launch back up again.
We're almost there. We're almost there. Just keep going.
You can all three of you are continuing to press on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Dirk, for you in particular, whenever you start having to crawl on both elbows, it's this rough, bristly carpet is just stinging into your right arm. And as you get closer and closer, almost to the top of this room, this staircase, the lights go out. And you feel this rigid surface underneath you and the walls pressing in around you all on all sides. Jimmy, Ellery, you all are hauling ass down this hallway away from the Armaconda. You're passing more doorways that seem to be getting slightly more disfigured as they go on. Ellery, can you give me a spot hidden roll?
Spot hidden. Spot hidden. Oh, thank God. I got a 74, but I got 80 in spot hidden. So,
okay.
Let's see.
You pass this flick of color as you all are running. Outside the door of one of the rooms, it's bright green. Do you stop?
Yeah. So is this one of the doors? Explain again. Is it a hallway?
You're still in a hallway. You're passing these doors that are starting to get more and more distorted as you all are running. And you see something that's a flick of color amidst all of this beige and brown.
Okay.
As you stop, it looks like a crayon.
The hell? Crayon? I'll go over to the... What is this? I'll pick up the crayon.
Seems to be well worn, used. The tip is sort of smashed in, like a child may have been pressing too hard when they were drawing with it.
We could use this to mark our way.
What? Where's that arm monster behind us? Where did it even get all those arms? Whose were those?
I don't know.
I'm looking behind, just being paranoid.
I think we heard it, so it probably ran away back to its army lair. Let's keep going in this direction. Make sure that we don't repeat ourselves. If we make a turn, we can draw on the wall which direction that we went, so that if any of the others find us or find the arrows, they can find us. You know what I mean?
That's an excellent idea, Mr. Pond. And we could leave messages for them. Even if we don't find them, maybe they'll find the messages.
That's a good idea. So whatever next conjunction we get to, let's leave them a message.
At the next conjunction or junction, as you all are walking up to it, the lights go out.
Oh.
I have a lighter. I'm going to flick it.
Okay. So as you flick your lighter, the pack of Virginia Slims not too far behind, you see audience seats around you. Dirk, Winfield, and Pitt, you see a light around you. You sort of crawl up, and Jimmy, you see these figures coming up from underneath the seats.
Mr. Pond, there's more monsters. They're coming.
All right, Jimmy. We don't want to go back the way that we came, but what are all these? One of the symbols had applause. I'm wondering if there's some sort of weird meaning to all of this. Stay over
And
here
as you say that,
shadows.
the room that all of you are now in becomes backlit as you hear stage lights snap on. For Winfield and Dirk and Jimmy, this is almost familiar. It looks like one of your stage sets at WSHP. You can see that these can lights have come on and are illuminating this stage that looks like the living room of a upper middle class family, with a familiar burgundy couch at the center of it. There's prop walls and doors around on the side. You all are in the audience seats, or amidst the audience seats, I should say. There's no crews or cameras, or there's no crews, but you can see cameras are in front between the stage, cameras, and then the seats.
Oh, thank heavens. We made it all home. I didn't think we'd ever make it out of there. Mr. Delarose, Mr. Carver, Officer Masterson, you're all okay.
Jay, I don't know if we're okay. We can't be home. This isn't home. It was just a dark ass staircase, and now we're here.
Maybe we should take a seat.
Is there a TV in front of the couch?
Winfield, Carver, Dirk.
The couch is facing towards you all this time.
Can they hear me? Can I hear them?
Yes, you're all in the same room together.
Is that you?
It's me. It's us.
We step out of the shade, out of the shadows. Holy crap.
Where have you been?
All
God, there
over
was
the
more
place.
monsters. There was an
There's
arm connected to another arm, connected to another arm, and it tried to kill us.
Like a giant snake of arms. Plus, I found a laboratory. This is apparently part of the Aether Institute. It's not entirely... I think that we're inside of a frequency. Some sort of... It's a long story. It makes very little sense, but they found something when they were on the moon, the moon landing. And it turns out that there are things that live inside radio waves.
Starts blaring from unseen speakers all around you as the stage door opens and you see this blurry figure. Looks vaguely like a human that's twitching and comes in, and a symbol lights up above the audience stage.
I think that's applause.
We saw that symbol. Yeah.
As
Yes, I
you
think it
all
means
applause, this the figure go jerking and twisting like a Silent Hill nurse, does this jarring wave and starts singing in this garbly voice going around the room. It looks vaguely female, maybe. It picks up this stick and starts jerking it around the stage like a broom.
God, it's horrible. Jimmy's going to run around looking for an exit.
Just sit here, Jimmy.
We got to get out of here.
This might be the answer. We need to find the way to the library.
As this continues with the sweeping, you wait and see that the figure gets to the couch and seems to herky-jerky reach down and pull up this odd rectangle as another figure walks in. Jimmy, you're running around the side of this, trying to find a back door into this room, and you see the stage door open, and this figure steps from the space between the door into this room. The figure is blurry as you're looking right at it, not 3 feet away from it, as if your eyes are refusing to focus on it. It's continuing to twitch and spasm at odd intervals and angles. The first figure with the stick holds up this square. You hear this sort of screeching sound. The other figure puts its arms out, and you see another image light up.
It's awful. I want to get away from the stage as far as I can.
That one's the laugh track.
As you all are continuing with this, the figure comes at the other and starts taking the stick and beating it over the head. The figure is sort of jerking and twitching around as it continues smacking it, hitting it, and is pounding it into the floor.
That's also the laugh. You're supposed to laugh at that?
You have to continue laughing as this beats the other blurred figure into an equally blurred pulp on the floor. The second doorway comes in with these dark bluish tint figures as they hold these blurred hands up in front of them.
That one looks like the moon.
Are we happy that
Lightning.
one of the symbols?
Do we boo? Do we laugh? What look
I
at
think we're
Ellery. What do we
happy
do?
The policemen have arrived to save the day. Yay!
Jimmy's screaming. Ah!
They start stuttering and flickering more. You see all of their bodies turn towards you in the seats. Too quickly, they jerk back into it again as the officers start running into the room, and one of them manages to slip on this yellow blur on the floor and fall down. There's a large crack as this one comes back on again.
Laugh track. Ha ha ha.
The top of one of their heads comes open in this blur of pinkish reddish mist across the room. All of the officers start fighting amongst themselves. The one with the stick start going in as the other officers start restraining and pulling them back down. This flashes.
Yeah, that one's the lightning, moon, and then the tower.
Yay.
Is it the human forest?
I think that was the one where we. Yay!
Yay!
Yay.
As they suddenly stop wrestling the figure down, their shoulders twitch and jerk up to look at you all, and they start approaching.
Hey, I think it's trying to communicate with us.
Oh, they're going to communicate real quick.
Some voice from the sky just told me that we should run like hell.
Yeah. Let's try to get out through the stage door where they all came through.
Okay. As they start making their way, jerking and twitching back down, you all can, so you're running sort of through them, past them, back through the stage door?
No, I'd say back towards the back of the auditorium.
Okay.
Oh,
Away
yeah.
from the stage.
Yeah.
As you all are, Winfield?
I'm scared beyond my wit, so I'm just going to follow whatever they do.
Okay, you all are scrambling back around through this. These figures are slowly making their way through. They're doing their arms up. That symbol is flashing red across on this screen as they are coming towards you all. I would like everyone to make me a dodge roll as they are going to start grabbing at you with fingers that you can't quite see, that your eyes can't quite make out.
That's a pretty bad fail.
I'll spend 10 to pass.
Yeah,
I missed mine by 30.
Okay.
I'll spend 4 to pass.
Yeah,
I'll spend 20 to pass because I don't want to die.
I'm
Okay,
also gonna
that's fair.
start to yell, boo, boo, boo.
So as you all are sort of scrambling past all of these, Jimmy, since you were behind the stage, they double back out away from the door, or like through the door back, and start grabbing you and are tugging at you as the rest of them are making their way across. And then you start to hear boo, boo, and their grips slacken. And they let go.
My
And
cries
they-
can turn into some boo-hoos.
Yeah. And their form sort of bow, twitch, and then stands back up again.
I think we
They-
mixed up the symbols.
They march back out through a curtain, a stage curtain at the back of the room.
I think based on this piece of paper, and I've started to show them the paper, that whatever it is trying to communicate with us is getting basic ideas. These symbols mean, this one was applause, this one was cheer, this one was boo. I don't know. And I think that we got it right up to a point, and then we made a mistake.
Well, it seems like we got laugh, applause, boo were the symbols.
So do we have to make it through a whole show correctly to get out of here? I don't understand.
They all walked off stage.
Maybe we should just follow them.
As you sort of peek back behind these curtains, the blackness behind the stage is not complete. It's a forest.
Forest, a human
What you
forest.
thought were support beams holding up the ceiling are tree trunks. You more notice it because the sounds of leaves start crunching under your feet as you walk. Tall, straight trees are growing up towards this sky. You can see with these twinkling stars through their empty branches. As you see a forest opening in front of you all, and a faint light off in the distance.
We're looking for the library. It says the only way out is the library.
Oh wait, is this the forest near the relay tower?
Yeah, we might be able
We're
to
out.
get out.
We made it. We're safe.
Can I see the moon out there?
Trying to look through around the trees, you can't quite see the moon. Like you can only sort of see these stars, but the treetops are kind of sort of blocking it. If you want, you can try and climb up. That might give you a better vantage point.
Sure, I'll try to climb up.
Okay. Give me a climb roll.
What is my climb? Yeah, it's a pass. My climb is really high.
Okay. I'm imagining you can sort of do the Mulan trick and put a piece of fabric around the backside of the tree and sort of loop your way up as it's going. You climb your way up, up, up to this tree, trying to look at these stars to get your bearings. And as you get to the top, more abruptly than you thought, you sit on these branches for support, sort of propping your elbow up with it. And you can see this isn't the sky. Those aren't stars. Those are tiny televisions, off in the distance, winking, staring back down at you. You can see these treetops cut short. They don't quite go to full points. And you can see that there seems to be an end of this stage somewhere off in the distance. Give me another little sand roll with the blinking television lights.
That's probably not going to end well.
It's not like you're at risk of falling out of the tree or anything.
Well, I did pass.
Okay. You've seen a lot of shit today, so I'm just going to give you a 0 for that one. That was a...
Yeah.
You're not out of the woods yet.
All right, I'll go back down.
What do the others see in your reaction on your face as you get back down?
I'm just sort of like looking blankly at them. And I'm like, yeah, no, I can see the moon from up there. I don't know. It's probably just not out, but we should keep going.
Oh, I'm so glad to be out of that house. It was terrible. All those
Oh,
hallways
Jimmy.
never make any sense.
Jimmy, I don't think we're out of the. We're not out yet.
But listen, Winfield, thinking in terms of transmissions, radio waves, whatever, did you notice that when we first left the room with the lady with the TV head, pretty clear, straight hallways, we started to see doors that were normal looking sort of doors. The farther away we got, the more wrong the doors were. They were crooked. Isn't there, if you imagine a beam of energy, as you approach the edges of the beam, don't you start to get noise, from outside? I'm wondering if that might be the key to finding our way. Is the clearer the passageway, the stronger the signal, the correct direction. The closer we get to the outside, we start getting these aberrations and voids and snake acondas and crooked doorways as we're approaching the noise on the edges. I don't know. It just seems kind of weird that why would the doorways get more fuzzy?
But wouldn't we want to get away from the signal? Wouldn't we want to go to those aberrations where
we found a door? We found a door that opened to void, and the scary thing is, if we jumped out into the void, we might literally be completely outside the signal and never find our way back. We just float forever in nothingness. I don't understand I think the Ether Institute was trying to study these signals and communicate, because that's how I knew about the applause. I realized there was one that was boo, but I thought there might have been a fourth symbol. We saw 3 symbols: applause, cheering, and boo. Or laughter was one of them. Maybe laughter, applause, boo. It's trying to tell us something. It's trying to communicate. Or take us all over, make us receivers. Show us. I mean, you could sort of see the TV show there, right? You could see that.
It was definitely a TV show.
And the yellow blur on the ground, was that like a banana peel? The guy slipped on the banana peel and we were supposed to laugh? even though we also saw the horror of the guy beating the other person to death.
Did we see the first figure pick up something off of the sofa?
Tucked in the cushions of the sofa.
Was that a TV remote?
It looked, if you didn't know any better, sort of larger and square, almost like a magazine.
So what if aliens have picked up our transmissions, our television shows, but they're not seeing them clearly because of degradation of the signal through space, and they're trying to use those to communicate with us, and that's why everything's blurry and shaky and weird. But that's because of this signal to noise problem. The noise is, I don't know.
Well, one way or another, if we are in a signal, it's being beamed from somewhere, and it also is going to somewhere. So, assumedly, if we keep following the path, then we will eventually get to the destination.
What if I'm understanding the library? What if the library is a room filled with videotapes? A library of signals? Because I got this videotape right here, which shows what the Institute was up to, just as proof. What do we need to find?
Could that be what that light is? And he points in the distance.
No, that's the radio tower. We're outside of the house.
We're not outside of the house, Jimmy.
But it's the radio tower. It looks like it, right?
It's not the radio tower, Jimmy.
It keeps it's trying to interpret what it sees, and they're not quite right because the signal degradation or whatever. But we're trapped inside of it. These NASA folks seem to have found a way to transfer from one world into the other, and we're on the other side of the door now.
Well, all the symbols that we've been seeing seem to be drawings of stuff that we know about. So the applause one is this drawing of the radio tower. There's like sort of a tower-like thing. And then there's two of them, and then it has sort of their like range, right? And then the what was it? The laugh is like the moon, and it's beaming something down to the three radio towers, the three relays. And then I don't know what the other one is. It has like the moon and then what looks like a tower.
That was the one they kept showing us, and they got mad at us when they came off the stage.
Yeah.
Until I booed at them, and then it stopped them. Maybe that one's boo. It's like the signs they would hold up at the shows to make the audience applause or clap.
Yeah.
Let's go towards the light. Maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's our only option.
As you all make your way through this stark, tall, lean forest, everyone can give me spot hidden rolls.
005.
No.
Ellery, you notice this because you're sort of on the lookout for them. As you're making your way through this forest, the sound of leaves and twigs breaking starts fading away just into muffled footsteps. You happen to notice, possibly any of you that succeeded on the roll, that you're not walking on soil and earth anymore at this point. It effectively looks like astroturf. You can actually see some like jagged cut lines where the trees are coming up out of it as if someone just tried to cut a hole in it. But Ellery, you notice a red crayon. as you're working your way closer to the light at the end.
Another crayon. I'll reach down and pick up the red crayon.
You can continue making your way forward, finding another one of these crayons as you keep going, start getting closer to this light. This light seems to be coming from the sides of a building. As you get closer, the two parts seem somewhat incongruous. The light is issuing from a classic house window with the sort of cross bracing in the middle that is in the side of this concrete domed building. Something like kind of an add-on or something.
Observatory?
Something like that it seems to go sort of straight up. There is an entry alcove way with one door that is leading closer to this room, the window on the outside wall, the other door being what looks like some heavy steel kind of storm doors almost, with a domed top.
Yeah.
The walls are concrete.
Kind of like a observatory, maybe. I found two crayons, a green one and a red one so far. I'm expecting then maybe to find a blue one. RGB.
Yeah.
I was thinking as well.
You think some little kid is lost in here?
I think there's a lot of people lost in here.
We could.
Oh shit! The little kid from the sign. I mean, from
The little
the
kid from the sign.
Oh, he was drawing. Yeah, he was coloring, remember?
It was colored.
That's what the mom said. He was coloring when he got lost.
Watching TV, cartoons. Colors are
So
bright.
he got sucked in.
And
He made it this far.
the gray woman. Well, I mean, yeah, he might have been leaving a trail, but it's also might be that he was. That imagine if you were an alien on the other side and you realize the television's all in RGB, and the kid had an RGB crayon set, red, green, blue, 3 colors, and black and white. It all seems to sort of make some sort of sense, but it's an alien mind trying to communicate with us, possibly doing us irreparable harm.
We could also try and draw the symbols, see if we can get through.
Yeah, I don't have them memorized though.
Well, you have them on the suicide note.
Yeah, they're not all on there. There's a little bit of one of them. There are some other ones. Human Forest, you saw that one.
Why don't you try drawing Why don't you try drawing the one that looks like the Earth without the moon on it? The one that says found twice on it.
clouds.
Clouds, yes.
Where are you drawing this?
You draw it on the back of the piece of paper.
Okay.
Why am I drawing that particular one, though?
Well, I'm just thinking if there's no moon, maybe it never happened, right?
Wait, the note. The note has one of those symbols and it says building. Is this that building?
Yeah. We've got.
Are we supposed to go in?
As you
it looks
are
like you can
looking.
Oh, wait, look here. Yeah. You can put this symbol together. Tapes both had clouds. You could put these symbols. Building. This one's forest. Yeah. Human forest. Human's place. Tapes in
That's
the building?
that's what he was trying to do on the note, was trying to find how to combine it.
Well, let's go into the building. Maybe it wants the tape,
Maybe the tapes are in there, and that'll.
but it's maybe, yeah.
So which
Let's-
door are you going to open? The one that is closest to the window that is glowing, or the adjacent door?
Can we peek in the window first?
You can. Inside, you see a candle that's the one emitting the light, but the light seems too steady to be an actual flame. It's a constant, even source of light from a candlestick. Inside is what looks like a child's bedroom. But there's no child in the bed. As it's closer, you can hear vaguely the sounds of sobbing and singing, disjointed. As you look off to the right on the side of the door, or on the right side of the window, and see almost like a mannequin-esque figure with this wiry Raggedy Ann hair and a blue dress in a rocking chair that is jerking too quickly up and down, back and forth. You can see crayons and pieces of paper underneath the bed.
Let's go into the one next to the window.
Yes.
Is it?
You can see where that door is. You can try it, and the door opens. You can more easily hear the sounds of a child crying in this disjointed attempt at a nursery rhyme. The chair creaks slightly as it continues rocking, sometimes back and forward too quickly, other times stopping and jerking like a clock that can't quite figure out the rhythm.
I think the kid is under the bed hiding from this figure. Winfield, I think you should jam.
Oh, okay. So he'll pull it out and do his thing to try to feel the frequency to get to.
Pointed it at the thing in.
Yeah, pointing it at the thing in the chair.
Okay. Give me an electronics roll. See if you can dial into this frequency.
Yes, regular success.
All right. So as you slowly make your way sort of around, the thing doesn't seem to react to your presence. And you start dialing it in. As you can hear these sort of radio whines start aligning, it halts in place. The nursery rhyme stops. The chair is leaning almost too far back, looking like it's at risk of falling over, but it's not moving anymore.
Jason Stein, are you here?
Go away.
It's
Jason,
the
we're here to take you
police.
I
home.
don't want to go.
Jason, we want to take you home.
Are you with my mom?
No,
Your
but
mother is very worried about you, Jason.
Pitt, why are you saying that so creepily?
You're the worst policeman ever.
Just come with
All right.
us, kid.
That's my indefinitely insane voice.
You're just flat, lost all emotions at this point. So the kid sort of slowly crawls back out. He's wearing what maybe once was a white shirt and denim overalls that seem to have been soiled. He's thin, tired, deep purple circles under his eyes like he hasn't slept. His hair matted. He's clutching this maybe picture he was coloring whenever you all came in, and sort of slowly, furtively looks out from underneath the bed, sees the figure stopped, and scrambles towards you all.
grab a hold of him.
So you grab him, he clutches and just clings to you. He's heavy. His fingers are just like digging in for dear life, trying to purchase something solid, something real. Do you want to carry him straight forward, or do you want to try and move him around to your back?
How old is he?
He's about 6, I think. 6 or 7. He's
to
heavy.
carry around. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think if I can get him around behind me on my back, it'd be better than having him walk.
Okay. As you are sort of doing this and finagling him, he's not letting go. It's sort of like whenever you have a cat that you're trying to bathe in the bathtub that just clinging. So you have to like move one hand and then start to get him over. He drops the paper as you are maneuvering him around.
Jimmy, grab the paper.
Yeah, you can see what he was drawing.
The woman came out of the TV.
The gray lady.
Kids with their creativity, right? So what are you all doing as Ellery is getting Jason Stein sort of settled? He doesn't stop crying and just shivering.
So we're basically outside still, right? Like at the front doorway?
Sort of. I'm imagining Winfield maybe standing sort of halfway in the doorway to keep its the signal blocker focused on the thing in the chair. The rest of you can be sort of anywhere you want, inside or out.
See if there's anything in the room.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely staying outside. I'll just be like, "Hey, buddy, I'm Jimmy. What's your name?"
I'm Jason.
If Jimmy starts to make a connection,
you want
with
a cigarette?
Jason, I'll say yes. Jimmy, why don't you take him?
Yeah, sure. Kid. It's all right. I can take Jason.
All right.
Okay. So you all can hot potato the kid.
Yeah. These guys are real smart, and they're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna get out of here, Jason. There's not gonna be any more monsters. Don't worry.
In the now silence, as Jason is sort of quieting, it's just more Jimmy. You'll feel that his body just kind of trembles and shudders every now and again, like it's just those quiet internal heaving sobs. And as the nursery rhymes have stopped, you all hear this quiet din from the room opposite you.
Like moving around, or?
No, just a constant sort of loud-ish sound. You couldn't really notice it. It was either too far away in the forest, or these sounds from this room were overpowering it.
Ellery, get out of this room so we can close the door.
Yeah.
And then Winfield backs up and keeping it away at it, and then closes the door as soon as everybody's out.
Winfield, I forgot something. I forgot.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
In the tape, it said that device is the thing that allowed people to go to use the TV screens as portals. To the other world.
How?
I don't know. It's it created a breach in the signal that allowed people to go from one side of it to another. That's how they got in here.
Maybe
it's a way to get out.
We saw that when we were in that room with the guy.
Maybe if we find another TV, we can set it to
the right signal,
our station.
Yeah,
and that's what happened when you pointed it at the radio tower, and when Officer Masterson and I were attacked.
So we have to find our station signal on here, point at the TV, find a TV, point at it, and that will allow us to get back.
Maybe we can get out. Yeah,
it's a theory.
What's that noise coming from that other room?
Maybe it's the TV.
Well, there's another noise to be worried about first, because as soon as you close the door to the child's room, "Don't forget to take your medicine!" starts bellowing from inside, and then you hear this whomp, whomp, whomp start coming up and hitting on the door, trying to clumsily open it.
Time to go in the other room.
Other door. Yep.
Time to go. As you immediately 180 back into the other room, you see a few things. The top of this room is a dome. The wall is, so it seems to go at a straight angle around you and then domes up at the top. There is a bluish glow across the top of this domed room with what looks like sort of maybe a Christmas tree or something off in the distance. You can see sort of points with spots of light and things on it. But immediately in front of you, you see racks and racks of shelves containing what look like VHS tapes.
The library.
As you all go into it, you may need to make a daisy chain to not get separated, as these racks are just on top of each other. Once you enter, it's the equivalent of a nostalgic hedge maze, as they are crisscrossing. You can't see above one or the other. You can hardly see through one rack. As you're looking at each of these tapes, they have those weird sigils on the exterior, like we would have written on, like, 96 Super Bowl on the back of it. Then it's just these sigils that are written.
So you gotta find the one with the sigils.
The sound is coming from further deeper into the room. It's maybe something like a static, or like lots of TVs tuned into different noises or something, sort of all overlapping into this din.
I'm going to look for a tape that has the symbol that doesn't have the moon on it.
Okay. You can pretty easily grab one of those. You see lots that don't have the symbol of the moon on them. If you want, you can just sort of grab a stack. Are there any other symbols or combinations that you all are wanting to look for? I'll tell you what, you all have had ample time to look at the researcher's notes. Give me an intelligence roll to piece together like what sort of combination that you would want to be looking for. Jimmy is looking for Super Bowl 88.
I'm going to spend the luck to just get a regular success.
I got a regular
success.
Yeah, I just got a regular.
I'd have to spend luck.
To get a regular?
Yeah, to get a regular.
Don't worry about that. So you all, with the regular successes, you can find just a general combination of tapes to try and, like, with either excluding a symbol or two, or mainly focusing on a couple of symbols that might be repeating or something on them. So you can sort of grab these as you are making your way in. I would like whoever feels most confident to make a navigation roll to sort of try and bob and weave in through all of these shelves and racks of tapes.
I have 35.
10%. Oh, that's better than me.
I think that's better than most.
Let the cop lead the way.
Okay. What? Oh, I got a 45. I don't have enough to make that happen.
All right. But Jimmy has 40 navigate. I bet I can figure this out.
Why didn't you say that before?
Jimmy, get us out of here.
I got an extreme.
He's got the kid.
Oh my
So
God.
Officer Masterson's like, come on, I know how to do this. We're going to go this way. And Jimmy's like, actually,
Yeah, excuse me, sir.
Make them away, toys. No, what he said. Do what he said.
So Pitt's like, nah, come on, we're going to go this way. Leads right up to the wall. And it's like, oh, maybe that way. And so you all can start following Jimmy as you're weaving in through the shelves. Some of you may be carrying a few stacks of these tapes as you are getting closer to the source of this sound and this brightness that seems to be coming from either the opposite end or maybe the middle of the room. It's difficult to tell. The ceiling is sort of spanning above you. Folks can give me spot hidden rolls.
Didn't.
Hard.
Got a 43 out of 80, but I will spend 3 points to make it a hard.
In a regular.
Okay. So, Ellery, riddle me this. Where would you generally be looking as you're weaving your way through here?
Probably at the back of Jimmy's head and the little boy. You say there's racks. I'm kind of like just keeping myself steady in between. Maybe I'll occasionally glance up at the blue ceiling.
Okay.
It looks almost like maybe it's a portal.
Okay. So, Winfield, this is somewhat reminding you of WSHP whenever you're down in the pit and having to weave through. You sort of reflexively glance down to make sure that you're not tripping over any cables. And that's whenever you notice the red wire vines are starting to grow and creep as if they're rooted in, and they seem to be getting thicker the further in that you go.
All right, I'll point that out to everyone, and I think we may need to follow where they get the thickest. Wouldn't that lead to where we need to go?
You're seeing some of them almost sort of braid together into cables as if they're winding their way closer. And then, sort of like plant roots that they would get just finer and finer, or like little capillaries. So you feel like they're getting thicker and more congested the deeper you go. And Ellery, as you are sort of keeping your hands up and browsing through these, or looking through these tapes, maybe trying to glance up and take a look at where the signal is coming from to see if you're getting closer, your eye catches on to something above the racks. A gray, featureless head snaking through the racks behind and to the right of you.
I think the Gray Lady is here. Behind and to the right. Move quickly.
Uh-oh.
I'm kind of curious. Do I see the red wires?
Since Winfield called it out, yes, you're starting to notice them now. You feel like you might have tripped on them if someone hadn't have noticed they were getting thicker.
I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to grab one of the cables that they're making and see if it lights up.
The light ahead of you does not change, but you feel an electricity sort of coursing through these. Not like grabbing an electric fence, but enough that the hairs on your arm stand up slightly. Yes.
There's electricity running through these of some sort.
So you mentioned the Gray Lady, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The scary. Yeah. Well, Jimmy is very afraid of that and leading the way. So he's going to shout, everyone hold hands. And he's going to start kind of dragging along, trying to rush.
Okay. And I'm going to let that extreme from last time ride for over here. So you all can sort of link up and make your way in through the remainder of these racks. The sound is getting louder and you can hear various voices and things that are coming in through over this din. As you get past the end of this final rack, the light is very jarring in your eyes as they sort of gotten used to all of this black on black dimness. And you see this giant towering, almost Christmas tree type ordeal. And as your eyes adjust to this light that is emanating from it, that's when you see the bodies. That's when you see the piles and stacks of human bodies twisted and linked with these vines growing out amidst them, tying them together. The arms and legs no longer make sense. They've been removed and replaced. Everywhere that there was a head is now a screen, all linked together. Some hands are grabbing on to others, giving similar images. All of the televisions are screaming, are making noise, are making connections, are showing television shows. No, they're showing homes. They're showing rooms. They're showing businesses. They're showing faces looking in at them, not from the source, but from a viewer. They're seeing children playing with toys in front of a couch and on the carpet. And you're seeing each of these naked bodies that are twisted amongst each other have this scabby protuberance in their chest that seems to be jutting out in a rectangular shape. Everybody can roll sand.
37.
12.
That's still okay.
All right.
That's the first one I passed in a while.
Mhm.
Jimmy's cool with this.
You
So I
believe
think-
it? I got an 01.
I failed.
Nice.
It's hard.
Pitt's just zoned in, be like, "This is the finish line, boys."
Yeah.
The rest of you.
And so's Jimmy. Okay.
Winfield failed, and he's the one with the little thing to click.
Yeah. And so, at seeing this screaming column that is spiraling up towards the ceiling with this crying, screaming buzz of electricity, it's going to be 1 on a pass and a D10 on a fail.
Do I
There's
still
still
have to?
a bout of madness, though, right?
Yeah.
I think y'all are
Oh.
indefinite.
I rolled a 1.
Nice.
Dirk, Ellery.
Oh, I passed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I
Okay.
passed.
Wow. So you all feel this pant-shittingly terrifying sight in front of you and just manage to keep it together. You're almost out. You're almost there. What do you do?
Just more monsters. None of this is real, right? We're in
Pick
some
a TV,
TV
screen
world.
and point your disruptor at it, and we should be able to go.
Which
through.
one?
Just pick one.
That one's good.
All right. I'll just
We'll end up in somebody's house.
I'll
Jeffrey, which
randomly
one's your
pick-
home?
yeah, I'll randomly pick one and just
Mm.
point and try to block the signal.
Okay. So I will give you an option. Would you like to roll an idea roll or a luck roll?
I will do idea.
Okay.
Yes. That is a hard success.
Okay. Those scabby things jutting out of people's chests look almost the same shape as a VHS tape. You have this weird, sick impulse to plug in one of the tapes around it
But-
if you want to get a new image on the screen.
But what are the tapes in one of those?
Which
And
one?
I'll point at it. I don't know, something with the human symbol on it.
Or the forest symbol?
Well, before, if you remember, what was the order that it went in when we were watching the TV? It was definitely applause, laugh, and then boo. I don't know how many there were, so maybe do applause, laugh, boo.
These
Are-
don't have the applause, laugh, boo symbols. They just have some that you can see sort of like city, sky, forest, moon. It seems to be sort of like alphabetical markings in that
Yeah.
there.
We don't want to go to the moon.
Yeah. The-
Pick the forest.
Yeah,
Or the
if we-
building.
the building or human forest or something like that.
City. Yeah.
Up one end.
So now, who wants to put in the tape? Is it
Oh, I will.
okay? So Jimmy, as you close your fingers around this congealed mass, you can slowly pull it out. It has this resistance. There's still some wires and things on the opposite side of it. The television gives a close-up of a mouth screaming in pain as you do, and it goes to static as this scab is removed. Please do not adjust your television set. What tape symbols would you like to put in?
I'll just hold my hand out. Whoever hands me something.
Okay, give me a luck
Right.
roll.
going to give him the one that says grass.
Not very good. I mean, yeah, if they have one in mind, but I failed the luck roll if that's how we're doing it.
Well, no, whoever is going to pitch him a tape, give me a luck roll.
31. That's a pass.
Okay. Are there any symbols that you're aiming for with that? Yes,
I saw one
grass.
that said grass. Humans grass.
Okay. So you can plug this into the slot in the chest of the once screaming set. As you do, you notice that some of the sets adjacent to it turn to eyes that turn and look and focus in on you, Jimmy. As you're putting this in, the image that you see is of a television, or is of a living room. It seems to be maybe like a farmstead house or something. And then Dirk, as this is happening, you notice a sound is coming from away from this lovely Christmas tree. You hear static approaching.
She's coming. She's getting closer.
And we are going to go into initiative. Ellery, it is your turn.
I'm going to grab Winfield and say, point it at the thing, and point it at the TV and hit the button.
Okay. Let's see. Winfield, I will give you a bonus die on your next attempt, or potentially give you some cover if Ellery is going to act like a meat shield. I don't know. Not that that would ever be relevant. Dirk, you see this gray, featureless head and empty, void black eyes crest from behind one of the columns of VHS tapes and is approaching you. It is going to take these hands that reach out, and they seem to continue reaching past whenever the arm should have ended and are coming for you. What would you like to do?
I'm going to dodge.
That might be a good idea.
That was a 53 out of 50. I will spend the 3 luck to make it a regular.
Okay. So then as these continue going up, you duck down and they manage to swoop over your head. Let's see. Who else is it going to go? Jason screams. And Jimmy, you can sort of see reflected in these screens as a pair of 2 long hands are coming for you, standing in front of this new monitor. What would you like to do?
Dodging that. 25. I could luck it down to a heart if I need to.
You might need to.
Okay, 5 luck.
Okay. Yeah, that was going to be nasty. All right. So then these hands manage to go past you, through you, into this column of flesh and wire and cables and veins, and then start receding back out. It is now... Oh, it's actually your turn.
So I'll kind of, tumble back and be scared. And since I see I kind of am moving faster than Winfield Carver, I'd like to steal the device out of him and use it, because Jimmy's real good with electronics, and I've been paying attention.
Love it. Give me an electronics roll. Or it may be a strength contest.
Ooh,
Winfield, you gotta trust the intern with
I
this.
got an extreme. I rolled a 10 on electronics.
Okay, so Winfield is not going to put up a fight as you get this. Jimmy, you manage to dial it in. Who knew that you could actually do other jobs besides intern? It's crazy. It must be all that time at the coffee machine. So as you manage to twist this dial in, you see that the image on the screen is much clearer. It almost looks like a picture perfect color, Technicolor image.
Everyone jump in.
And it is now Officer Masterson.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go in through the TV.
Okay. How are you going to get in? Are you doing it carefully? Or are you just going to do a spear jump into it?
I'm doing a spear jump. I'm going full in.
Okay. What do you think? I don't know. That's cool. And you have 2 HP. So I am going to say that you can sort of run and swan dive into it. All of you see him launch into this television. The screen seems to get impact in a bit as if it's some sort of membranous structure. And then you can see Officer Masterson on the other side.
He got
It is
out.
now Winfield.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. Where he dove into, was it like the TV embedded in the body, or is it like the big like lit up screen thing?
So it was the head of some person that they inserted a VHS tape into the chest.
Gotcha. Then I guess Winfield's doing the same thing.
Okay. You can run and dive in, leaving Jimmy to hold the resonator.
And the kid.
Dirk.
I guess I'm gonna try and push Jimmy towards it. Because he's got the kid. And I'm gonna say, remember me. If I can, I'm just gonna try to push Jimmy and the kid in towards the TV, try and get him in through it.
So as you are sort of pushing him in, and Jimmy is just holding this resonator steadfast, or this signal jammer, right onto it. As the jammer starts to get into the screen, it starts becoming rigid, and the signal is going back to static. And Jimmy, that jammer is getting hot in your hands. You can pull it back out, and then the picture can clear up.
Well, I would kind of like to set it down where it's pointed at the thing and leave it behind.
Well, you could try that on your turn.
Yeah.
So,
that's my goal.
Dirk, I will give you another action for that if you would want.
Go, Jason, get out of here.
Go, Dirk, go.
I'm just gonna get it.
Do you want to get out, or do you want to get the kid?
How
much of a hero
out?
are you?
I want to get the kid out.
Okay, you can grab the kid and just like a pile of laundry in a chute and just huck him through it. Pitt and Winfield just get a startled 6-year-old kind of back at them that lands on top. You're seeing this sort of like pile of bodies are sort of twisting and scrambling away from the screen. You all can look back and see the image of the other side of the screen, see this ghostly figure approaching the rest of the group. Ellery.
I'm going to grab the thing out of Jimmy's hand and say, go, 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 go.
It is now the Great Lady's turn. She is going to reach out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Dirk dodged her the first time, and so this time she's going to reach out again. You can see that hand is reaching towards your burned arm that you tried to get through the wall with.
I'll spend 1 luck to make it a pass.
How much luck do you have?
A lot. I've got 55 still.
How much would it cost to make that a hard? I rolled a 22 under 70.
26 points of luck to make it a hard. I'll spend 26 points of luck.
You feel like that might have been luck well spent. Okay. And so, Ellery, you're now holding the device.
Yeah. And I sort of push Jimmy towards going through.
And what would you like to do? You hear this static is reaching out for you.
Has Jimmy gone through?
Not yet.
I'm going for it, but not yet.
If he hasn't gone through, if he isn't like halfway through, so he hasn't gone through.
And neither is Dirk. We're both with you.
Right. I'm going to quickly turn and point the thing at her.
So I am going to... Okay. How am I going to do this? But bottom line is you're not dodging. I guess I would consider this a fight back.
Okay.
As you're going to try and direct the signal thingy at her.
We'll call it brawl.
Uh-huh.
A 16 out of 40. That's hard.
How much luck do you have?
Well, how much?
I rolled an
have?
aught 3.
I've got 30 left. What did I just say? I moved my.
You rolled a
my
16
dice.
under something.
I'll spend 8 luck to make it a hard, an extreme.
Okay. So as you manage to whip this signal back, this hand is mere inches away from your face and turn the signal towards it, and you hear this resonating shriek almost. The hand becomes much more solid and pulls away as if in pain. Jimmy.
Does she recoil far enough that I can...
The hand That's just it, though. The hand recoils back. But Jimmy, now the screen is engulfed in static.
Well, so
again.
is it just the hand is looking real, or like all of her is kind of taking
It
form?
seems like she turned from static into white as a sheet.
All right, I'm gonna steal Mr. Pond's gun and yell "Die, monster!" and unload on it with, I mean, just 2 shots left, right?
Yep. Okay, so you can give me 2 shots with a penalty die.
36. I'll spend 16 luck to make the first one hit.
Okay.
Hang on, I gotta do some math. 38 luck left. Then 85. Yep, shame. So one success out of the 2.
Okay. Roll me a d10 and roll high.
9.
As you sort of spur of the moment grab this gun, you've only ever held a gun just whenever you would go shooting at your uncle's place. They never trusted you with anything more than a pellet gun. And so you take it and bring it up and blast. And you see, in addition to these pitch black, empty eyes, there is a void in the center of its chest. It seems almost surprised. The face never changes as every time that you've seen it. However, the sound of it leaking out, it's this high-pitched, screaming shriek like feedback, like you're holding 2 microphones too close together. It's causing your ears to hurt, almost to bleed. And you're seeing that these screens are now flickering and flaring in color, some of them starting to pop and rain down sparks all around you all. Dirk, it is now your turn.
Well, so the screens are looking, so some of them are starting to look like they did when they were able to be jumped through.
No, they're looking like they're almost
About to
overloading
fry.
or
Okay.
something. Yeah.
I'm just I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
Push the shelves over on her.
yeah, if the great
Go
lady,
beat her to death.
I was gonna just go run and
Push
jump at her, like try to hold her back, tackle her a little bit.
So she
Still
seems like
solidified.
she is in the midst of disassociating.
Okay. Yeah, I'll knock some shelves down on top of her. That's a good idea.
Okay, just to pin it down as it's continuing to thrash around and squeal on the floor. All right. Ellery.
If I think that it's held for a second, then I'm going to turn back and see if the TV will switch back once
Jimmy?
so that Jimmy can go through.
Yeah. Priority is getting through, but I'm also going to throw the gun at her and, yell a little bit. Stupid monster.
The gun hits it as its head sort of deflates slightly as it was making. Well, actually, no, the device isn't back on it. So, yeah, it just goes through the head as it's continuing to scream back. And you can launch through the screen. Dirk.
I'm going to try and jump through. Yeah.
Through. Okay. So you all are clambering into this clapboard farmhouse. The rest of the group is still drenched in sweat, sort of scrambling around to make room for you on the floor. Ellery, last man left. The screens are shattering and popping all around you.
Is the lady still trapped underneath the...
Where the racks had fallen over her corporeal form, they're now flat against the ground. You can still see the barest traces of static around in there.
Okay. I am going to... keep the thing on the TV, and I'm going to set it down on something so that it's pointed at the TV and try to jump through. But if there's... I'm going to take my shirt off quickly. I'm going to set it on my shirt, and so that as I go through, I will yank the thing.
You can keep your shirt on if you want, because I feel like lots of folks were carrying VHS tapes, so you can pretty easily, just like on a pile of them, set the thing and try and turn and jump through.
Well, what I wanted to do was to be able, as I go through, to yank the thing out so that it's not...
I understand.
It's not stuck on the other side.
So in that case, this is going to take a tiny bit of time as you're trying to quickly work this together. I would like you to roll luck to see as these screens are popping.
Oh, shit. I've only got 16 left of my luck. Can I spin luck on... I rolled a 38.
No, Ellery, no.
Okay. So as you are like trying to whip this up and get it going, and you dive into the screen, you can feel your body clambering through this space between spaces. You try not to look to the sides of you as you feel like you're in a tunnel with static and this light and these shapes that are moving, looking at you. And you try to focus only on the screen. As it's getting difficult, it's getting hot and burning. And as you are trying to work your way through, you feel the glass of the screen shatter. And you feel a warmth spreading up your right leg. As you continue working your way out through the TV, you fall out onto the rug and begin drenching it in blood as your foot did not make the return journey. You're in a farmhouse. A very surprised tenant, her hands over her mouth. It's just in sheer shock at the crew of ragged people into her room.
Did the controller come through with us? Or did it shatter or break?
You hold up your shirt and see where it was cut, as if by glass shattering.
Well, I hope it got broken. I need a tourniquet for my leg.
You are holding the other part of your shirt. So this isn't necessarily a time-sensitive condition.
Probably such a clean cut that it doesn't really hurt much.
Yeah, exactly. You can easily just tie it back up. And so like where there was warmth spreading around your pant leg, it's now just starting to get cold and numb and tingly again. You all talk with the tenant, nice lady named Martha. You are in Kentucky. and can manage to find a Greyhound, hitch a ride, and try to get back up to Summit Heights, Colorado, to make your report. As you are on this Greyhound bus, making your way back up, Pitt, you find it hard to get back out of that seat. Like you may have put down roots. Maybe need to keep some wire cutters handy with you, just to get up for bathroom breaks with not pulling them free. And Ellery, as you happen to look at your stump, you swear you see a couple of those veins start to thread and reach back out.
I need to go to the hospital and say, take off the whole leg.
You all return to Summit Heights. Winfield, Dirk, and Johnny make their reports to Larry Rosenbaum, promising that the issue has been resolved, more or less.
Oh, has it? Don't we need to blow up the whole mountainside with...
Well, that's the more or less part. You at least know the source of the problem now. And manage to get promotions in with it. Pitt, you weren't able to save many, but at least being able to resolve one kidnapping was enough. It was something. They could make this big spectacle about it as you return Jason back to his loving mother. And as the days go on, a certain fire pops up on a mountainside, gets quickly under control. Thankfully, it doesn't spread to anything. Probably wasn't anything out near Signal Booster Tower 2. Miss Stein comes in to check on Jason, watching cartoons with his coloring book. He's staring at the screen, wrapped in the images. And as Laura says, Jason, honey, you haven't touched your cereal. He turns around with black, empty, void eyes. And that's where we're going to end it.
I would like to report this to the nearest Delta Green agent.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna take him the tape of the ether that I got stuffed in here. That says everything that's going on. That was really good.
If you were going to, if you failed a certain luck roll, you were going to end up in the Ether Institute's version of the world. And so it was going to be like a Hadron Collider or something was right outside of this old farmhouse in Eastern Kentucky. Have a nice Tales of the Loop kind of universe.
I thought about releasing the tape online, one of those conspiracy
on the
theory
bulletin
shows.
board system.
On the bulletin board. Oh, television. You've got a television transmission tower.
The world deserves to know.
So what happened?
So the Ether Institute exists in another version of our world where the moon landing failed, and they came up with a very different series of technological advances and found that there were intelligent entities sort of in an in-between-ish dimension that our television signals and whatnot were sort of broadcasting into, kind of like shining a light through a fabric curtain. They managed to find a way to punch through into it and to try and facilitate interdimensional communications. The creatures welcomed the new guests, aggressively welcomed them, because these humans actually made fantastic routing devices that they can boost signals in order to more firmly grow roots into these different systems and be able to spread. So that is what, with the number of researchers from Aether, were able to boost their signal enough to get into the most similar version of their dimension, which was our dimension. And from then started to, the Ether Institute was in the exact opposite version of Summit Heights. Let's call it Summit Falls. And so that was why Summit Heights was the first one to really get hit hard by this, because it was on just the other side of the sheet of paper. And then from there, they started snatching folks out of their homes whenever they were close to the televisions during these broadcast signals. The Gray Lady could reach in and snag them back out through their TV. That was what happened to Mr. That's what happened to Frank. Thank you. Yes. And so he did not have a spare key. He got yoinked out of his easy chair. And yes, the broadcasts were getting longer durations, the more often they were, because they were getting more people to boost their signals. And so you thankfully stopped or interrupted it.
Well, what was the kid at the end then? Why did he turn evil?
Because it's fun. It's one of those options
okay.
like, it says like, you can do this if you want. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do that. Like, yeah, Trojan horse kid.
He took his medicine.
Mm-hmm.
What would have happened if we got all the symbols right during the TV show thing that was being acted out?
So the TV show thing were the signal beings trying to emulate what they were seeing from our television broadcasts, but sort of getting it wrong and transgressing into brutal violence and slapstick humor. Getting the audience prompts correctly, like kept the show going. After a few correct ones, then they would bow, and then you would go over into the forest section. If you started getting them wrong, the actors would get irate and then start attacking you all. They don't have a lot of HP because they're basically just made of light and sort of blurry material, but they would still swarm you and try to rip you apart. And then the figure that was watching over Jason is a really fun one. She's basically this mannequin that's full of those sort of viney, wiry things. Every time that she would, so she initially looks like this poor amalgamation of like a housewife mother type. Every time that she would hit you or you would hit her, she would like channel switch and would change into another kid show thing. That was the Gray Lady trying to keep the kid happy. So it would like turn into a clown or a monkey with cymbals or like a cartoon character or a princess or something every time that damage was exchanged and it like made contact with something else.
Why did she care about the kid?
Why indeed? There are some things that we'll never know.
Well, kudos to Colin Richards for writing this and creating enough that the whole symbols thing. And the more I looked at it, the more I started thinking, wait, okay, are we going to be able to put together this? And I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, y'all did really good with it. You dived a lot more into it than we did at the playtest. No, I really like the scenario. I think it's a lot of fun. And these handouts are just bonkers. The biggest one that I was bummed I didn't get to use because every time you all would take photos, you would take it with multiple people in the shot. But there are several of these. Let me share my screen real quick. There are several of these blurred Polaroid handouts if you were to snap photos, which I really liked. So these were the audience prompts. And then this was just another angle that you could go on. But yeah, I really wanted to share as many of the handouts as I could for this because, I think that they're a lot of fun in here.
Excellent.
They were well made.
And I hope you all had fun.
We had a lot of fun, yeah. Our players included Kaylin McDowell, Max Meltzer, Tyler Hudak, Chance Wooten, and myself with Dr. Lex Hurley as the keeper of arcane lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.